wisdom in here, you know more than you think about the brain. So the reason we are even talking about this is because I was having casual conversations with several yogis and they were like, we need to hear all about it, we need to hear more about this. So here it is. During my day job, this is what I do. So for the past 30 years, I've been in the field of early childhood and been a teacher, been a center director, been an education consultant, been a program director, been a vice president, and early childhood is all I know. Don't know accounting, don't know law, don't know much, but I really feel like this is a passion of mine. Children birth through 8 years and have done, a lot of work in this field only because it excites me. And I'm passionate about it. So thank you for the opportunity to share my passion with you. And I hope you find it informative. And I hope you find it interesting. So before we get started, how many of you know something about the brain? So I know what your knowledge base is right now. How many of you how many of you know something about the brain? Yeah, something. Good. Some things.
85% of the brain grows in the first 5 years of the life.
Excellent. Great, Priya. That's a great start. You're in the right place for that. That's exactly right. So, when does your brain fully get developed? 25. You have attended my workshop before. It's actually 26 is when your brain fully gets developed. You know that's why the insurance companies charge more for children under than 26. You don't think your children. How many of you are 26 right here or under 26? That's it? Just you two? Everybody else? I mean, of course I know them, but I meant teenagers. Okay. So today's session is really all about connecting with the children that we've been blessed to enjoy in our lives, and also the advice that Srimati has given us about children. I wanted to share this book with you all. Have you seen this book? It is an amazing, amazing book because our brains are amazing. And I love how it really emphasizes that you have an elastic brain. So if the children start interrupting, if you would take them out, because I really want everybody else to get the most of it, but if the children are quiet, they can enjoy it. So your brain is very elastic, and I wanted to just read just a few little pieces of the brain before we get started with the actual presentation. What does your brain really do? Does it just occupy space in your head, between your ears? What does it really do? Your brain can help you remember, it can help you think, it can help you see, it can help you hear, and the best of all, it helps you to feel emotions, and it makes you you. Everybody's brain is different. Every single person in this room has a different pathway in the brain. Your brain is wired differently, your pathways are different things get you excited, different things motivate you, different things inspire you. No two people are alike. This truly is an amazing, amazing organ. So the brain controls everything you think of, everything you do, and everything you even dream. Even your dreams are related to your brain. The brain has many parts, and we're going to talk about those in a minute. I just want to get to I'll do the end part later on. Let's just get started. So today, I thought what we could really do is spend some time understanding how to become familiar with how the brain grows and how it develops in children as well as adults. Because the brain is an amazing organ that doesn't stop when you turn 26. You continue to grow and you continue to change, and the more new experiences you have, no matter how old you are, you stretch your brain. So your brain is like an elastic. The more new things you learn, the more oops moments you have, meaning you make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes, the more the brain stretches and it continues to grow. And we'll also learn about the role that us adults play in how we help children to grow and learn. You know, what are the words we're using, how are we raising them, how is it affecting their brain. couple of weeks ago, we heard a talk from Shimanshi, and she was talking about the importance of emotional intelligence, right? And the emotional intelligence versus the IQ number. And we've all heard of this IQ test, right? That you're brilliant if you have this magical number. And how does that compare to emotional intelligence, and how successful are you in life, whether you have more emotional intelligence or whether you have more IQ? And of course, we will share some advice that Shimanshi gave way back when our girls were little. This was the stuff that Shimanshi was just speaking. It's not in the children's book. It's not shared, written in many places. So we'll talk about that. So a fun fact. When do you think the language neurons develop in a brain? At what age? 2? Okay. She's attended my session in the womb. Yes, it starts in utero. Your language neurons are the very first ones that make connection when mama is expecting. And that's why babies come out where they can listen, they can understand, but they can't express. So the more mom talks, sing nursery rhyme, reading books, singing bhajans, those vibrations are actually affecting the brain even before the baby joins you. So the brain is really, really amazing. So if you hold your fist up, let me see your fist. So this is your base of your brain. This is your, right here, this is this part of your brain, and this is your spine. And your spine connects directly with the base of your brain. And the base of your brain is your survival state. And what happens in your survival state? The survival state has some normal reflexes that are built in. So when you're scared, fight. When you want to fight people, when somebody does something to you and you come back with aggression, either physical aggression or verbal aggression, you fight that. Fight, flight, or you just run from it. You get so scared you can't deal with that person in front of you. You're just overwhelmed. You're just like, you're scaring me right now, I'm going to get out of here. You're in your survival mode. Or fight, flight, freeze, you just freeze. You're overwhelmed. You have no reactions. People will say something to you and you'll be like, and then you go home and you're like, I should have said this. That would be a really good comeback. It didn't happen because you were in your survival state. Why is that important with the infants? So when a baby is born, from the time the baby is born till the time they reach their second birthday, this part of the brain is getting wired. This part of the brain is waking up. This part of the brain is making connections. And if we don't meet their needs when they're little, this will not be wired properly for the rest of your life. So have you heard of that phrase called self-soothe? Like you leave babies to soothe themselves. Like a baby's crying, you say, I'm going to put you down there and I'll be back and you'll be fine and you can cry yourself to sleep. Have you heard that? There's a whole new research movement going on. Self-soothe. It's really not developmentally appropriate. Children need to feel safe. So safety is the first thing that human beings need. If I don't feel safe, I cannot learn, I cannot function. So for example, you do something new. You start a new job, you start a new relationship, you get married, you have a new child, you take a new route, you drive somewhere you've never been, you're back in your survival state. So you go in and out of your survival state throughout the day, throughout your life, but as you get older, you recognize it and you're able to calm it and you're able to meet its needs. The biggest need that the survival state has is safety. Feeling safe and my needs are met. So it starts with infancy. When I'm hungry, you feed me. When I cry, you come, you respond. I grow up knowing that I can have confidence and trust in the world around me, that I'm safe, that I'm okay. So that's the main thing that this part of the brain needs. And there's a new research you might have heard. So all the F words, right? So fight, flight, freeze. The new one is fibbing. So when children lie or adults lie or youth lie, they're lying because they're scared. They're in their survival state. And that's the only way they can respond is by lying to get out of the situation. That's all happening. So that's how you know people are in survival state. You could be in survival state if you've had a rough day at work. You come home, you're in survival state because that also pushes you into the emotional brain. So the next part of your brain, so This is the base of your brain. This is your spine. And this part right here is your emotional brain. And the emotional brain is all, starts to kind of start getting wired between 2 years old and maybe to 3.5, 4 years old. So if you have children that age, this part of the brain is getting wired. And what this needs is acceptance and love and to be included. So unconditional love, acceptance that no matter what you do, I will always be here for you, I will always support you. We need these things in our work environment, in our family life. So these qualities don't go away when the children get past 3 years old. Who in here doesn't need to be accepted and loved? Nobody, right? We all need to be accepted and included. We all want to feel like we are making a contribution. We're all wanting to be, we're valuable. We're created valuable and we want to be recognized for our values, right? Whether at work, whether in your family, whether in Surg Yoga, it doesn't matter. If you come to the Sunday meditation and nobody ever talks to you, would you feel accepted? It would make you sad, right? That's your emotional side. This side also has all the language. So remember the 4 F's from here? But your emotional brain has all the, so when you get into an argument, you're in your emotional brain. When you start verbally attacking somebody, you're in your emotional brain. The emotional brain has a part called the amygdala. Have you heard of the amygdala? Yeah. So the amygdala right here is where you feel your emotions, where you feel all the rich emotions we have. Sadness, happiness, scared, excitement, joy, all these emotions are wired from here. When children are little, this part of the brain is getting wired. They need to see these emotions in them. And they need to see them in the environment. Have you heard of the term called amygdala hijack? So the amygdala hijack is a really cool thing in action. This is what happens when you lose your cool. So I'll give you an example. Embarrassing example, but I'll share with you to tell you what that looks like. So I was in a meeting at work and I was having a budget meeting with my CEO, with my 2 bosses, with the CFO, and I was explaining all the budget for my division. And I knew my division wasn't doing good, we weren't bringing in the money, the classes weren't selling, the budget wasn't where I would like to have it be. And so the CEO was like, this is really not good, the income is less than the expenses, and I started crying. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I never cry at work. I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? Who is this person? I felt like my brain was hijacked. I really felt like there was an alien in my head and was talking, and I was just like, who is this? What is going on? Anybody relate to that? It happens to all of us. If we're honest, we've all been there. Our amygdala has been hijacked. This is a normal human reaction. It happens. So I came out of that meeting and I was dying of embarrassment. I was just like, oh my God, this is stupid. What just happened? And luckily my boss, she's actually a Surg Yogi too. I consider her Surg Yogi. She's been coming to the center. We meditate together. And she then walked into my office and she's like, that was great. We needed to hear that. We needed to hear the raw truth. You were so good. I'm like, truth? That was amygdala hijack in action. So all that to say, when you're in your emotional brain, you don't make the best judgment calls. You don't make sensible decisions when you're in your emotional brain. So when you're having an argument with somebody and all these words come out, and then you wish like, I wish I could put them all back in, but you can't, that's your emotional brain in action. But it's there, it happens. So the emotional brain needs acceptance and love and inclusion. The executive function is right up here in the front. So this starts getting wired around 4 years old. Some children get it wired like by 3.5, some after 4.5, because children don't come in a box. It doesn't come like, I'm 2, I do this, I'm 4, I do this. It doesn't work like that. So the more rich your environment is, the more the wiring can happen. And when this wakes up, you know this is woken up because the first thing the children start with is, but why? 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 You cannot answer enough. Why? Because this is now suddenly woken up and they want to problem solve. They want to understand. And the worst thing you can do for the why is because I said so. Because I'm your mom or I'm your dad. And don't ask so many whys. I will have to tell you that the flip side of that, in Saj Yoga, I can tell you that when you answer a lot of whys, it can also feed the ego. So be careful of that too. So you're not answering the whys to feed the ego, but you're also not answering the whys because this is not going to get wired right. So it's a fine balance, and as a parent, you will know the sense. You will know, is this coming from ego or is this really coming from a place of understanding? If this child can understand the why, they will be better able to follow your guidance and rules. So for example, you say, the other day Ava was at our house and she was trying to put her finger in the socket. Do you remember that, Ava? You were trying to put your finger in the socket and both Mompa and I said to you, don't put your finger in the socket. And she said, why? Why? And I said, well, because it has electricity. Let me show you. So I put a plug in. I said, look, if I put a plug in, the lamp is going to come on. Something is coming from it because it lights up this. If you put your finger in there, that's not going to be safe for you. And you promised me, right, Ava? You promised me. You said you won't do it again. Because she understood that that is not going to keep her safe. If I had just said no, 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 she would have tried it because the curiosity is not satisfied. Does that make sense? So when you meet the needs of the child to explain the why, you're more likely to have to punish them and keep redirecting them and discipline them because you're raising them with the understanding and common sense and best practice and wisdom, right? We want children to have wisdom. And you want them to be wise. You don't want them to be dependent on an adult to always be there to tell you. Raising the quality of wisdom, Shimanshi says, it happens from a very young age. The thing with children is really amazing. Sometimes we underestimate them intelligently, but overestimate them academically. So we want our children to learn the letters and know the numbers and da. That's not going to give you success in life. We underestimate their intelligence because they are super intelligent human beings and we're not challenging them enough and we're not thinking, no, if I tell you this and if I explain this to you, you're going to understand because you're a smart person. If I treat you as a smart person, you're going to behave as a smart person. If I dumb you down, you will dumb down. Does that make sense? Children are amazing. So, raising them is so crucial because of all this that we're doing. So I wanted to show this because of the stress, the effects of stress on the brain. So you can very clearly see the brain on the right is much smaller than the brain on the left. And that's really this part of the brain. The executive function has not been developed to the extent. This child is a brain of a 3-year-old on the right, and exactly the same on the 3-year-old on the left side. This child on the right was traumatized. So you might think, I'm a Sajogi, I don't really have stress at home, my children are not being raised in stressful environment. I have news for you. Stress is all around us. And the effects of stress are on children is different. So there's 3 types of stress. Who knows what they are? So first is positive stress. What is a positive stress? Give me an example of a positive stress. This is something good that happens to you. What's a positive stress?
Like you're excited about?
Yeah, you're excited. Exactly. You're excited about, tell me something you're excited about. Yeah, your basketball match. That is exactly the perfect example. Positive stress. It's a good stress, but it's still stressful. Going on vacation is a good stress, but it's stressful. You have to pack, you have to get on the plane, you have to make the reservation, blah, blah, blah. That is positive stress. What is a tolerable stress? Give me an example of a tolerable stress. Traffic. Perfect example. Yes, traffic is temporary, but it's tolerable. You know it's stressful, you deal with it, you get over it, but it's stressful. Your brain absorbs it. It is stressful. Toxic stress. What is an example of a toxic stress? Yeah, violence, child abuse, domestic violence. But it could also be parents arguing. It could also be constant at home. That's toxic stress because the environment doesn't change. So Yes, we think as Sajohis, our homes are peaceful and they're wonderful, but we are living human beings. We are dealing with these type of stress every day in our life. The effects of stress on children is drastic. If children are in toxic stress all the time, it's like going to the war zone. It seriously can have an impact on your brain. So meditating, thank goodness we all meditate, meditate really, really helps to change your brain waves. And encourage the children to start meditating with you. I know it's hard, but 5-10 minutes makes a difference because you're rewiring their brains. We've had scans, right, of people who meditate and their brains are different, the waves are different, the pathways are different, the connections are different. I would say if there's one thing that you can do for your child, help them to meditate for 5 minutes. And we can show some techniques on how you can do that with children because it looks different with children, but they need their brain waves to relax. Questions so far? Is the pacing okay? Am I going too fast? Okay, keep going. All right, so what happens when you're in stress? Two things happen. And this is how we're wired. We're all wired differently, but this is how we deal with stress. So when I face stress, I start writing a to-do list. Because I'm a right-sided person, I go to the to-do list. I make a list, I check it off, and I'm in control. And that helps me to deal with stress. How many of you write a checklist? Right? Yeah. The opposite side of that is I get overwhelmed and I cannot do anything. I don't know where to begin. It's too big, it's too much. I'm moving house, I'm changing jobs, I'm setting up, I don't know where to begin, so I just sit on the floor and I don't know what to do. I don't know where to begin. Who does that? Get overwhelmed. Who gets overwhelmed? Yeah? Yeah. It's fine. It doesn't matter which way you deal with stress. You either make checklist or you get overwhelmed. It doesn't matter. The point is that you have to tell your brain that it's just the riverbank. So if I bump into the riverbank and I start making a to-do list and I start making my action side happen, it's just the riverbank. I don't have to live there. I need to get back to the river of life where I can float beautifully, where I am thoughtless, where I am balanced, where I am in control. Or if I'm on this riverbank where I get overwhelmed and I don't know what to do, I just have to tell my brain, get back on the river. I don't have to put tent in this place. I don't have to live here. It's only temporary. I'm just coping with it. Make sense? Either we get overwhelmed or we get into action mode. And the people who get into the action mode are kind of dangerous because we want everybody out of our way. We're just like, we're tuck people. We just get everybody out of our way. But in the process, we could actually ruin people's feelings. We might hurt their feelings because we're on a path. But if people understand us and we say, okay, I can see you're in action mode. Okay, tell me what I can do to help you. Then it doesn't feel so overwhelming because you're having support to go with it. Does that make sense? All right. So this is really key. This is so key. 90% of the brain is developed from birth to 5 years of age. 90% of the brain that is going to last you for the rest of your life was developed in the first 5 years of your life. Can you believe that? I mean, can you see the importance of the first 5 years of your life? And if we don't do it right, what baggage do we have to live with for the rest of our life? But here's the good news. Here's the good news. Your brain is elastic. It's plastic. It will rewire. It will refigure. So even if you had the most drastic first 5 years of your life, it's not game over yet. There's still hope. But if you know better, you do better, right? Once you know the impact of the first 5 years of life, you will do things differently. I didn't know all this when the girls were being raised. I wish I did. But I'm definitely doing it different with Ava, for sure, because I know better. When you know better, you do better.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you remember your first 5 years of life?
No, not at all.
Not at all. No memory.
Well, I personally don't. You may.
I don't. That's why I'm asking.
How many of you remember any incidents between first 5 years of your life? You do? You do? You do? Clearly they do. I don't. Yeah.
Is that something to concern? Or?
Yes, but so here's the thing. This is where all the wiring is happening. This is where all the pathways are being created. We may not remember it, but it's the foundation of the house. Okay. So we don't really see the foundation of the house, but it holds the house.
Okay.
So whether they remember or don't remember, if we can give them the needs for each of the brain parts, so that's a really good point. So let me remind you the brain parts again. So there's a really good way to remember the states of the brain. Sailing. Say S-A-I-L. So for the survival brain, I just need safety. I just need to know I'm safe. For my emotional brain, I need A and I, acceptance and inclusion. And then I'm ready to learn. You will not learn new skills, you will not learn new talent, you will not learn new things, you won't survive any, unless this part of your brain feels safe and loved, and then you're ready to learn. So you've just started a new job. There's lots of new learning curve there. You will only learn if the people in that environment make you feel welcomed, included, supported, and then you're like, yeah, I can do this, I got this. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
So does it mean to say that rest 10% of it develops between ages 5 and 26? And some, you also said that we also keep changing after 26. So what does that mean?
Great question, Monica. So here's what happens. This is how much I know. I really am not a neurologist, so this is all that I know from research. This is my understanding of it. As we go through life experiences, as we do new things, as we expose ourselves to new things, the brain creates new pathways. It creates new neuron connections. So when we're born with, I'm not good at math, so I'm going to remember this number terribly. It's a very high number, like trillion something billion, which is more, trillion is more than billion, right? Yeah. It's a huge number we're born with, but what happens is it's pruning. So either you use it or you lose it. So your dendrites are being pruned. The doctor in the house, am I right? True? So either the connection is being made or the dendrites are dying away. And the way you make new connections is by new experiences. So every time you have a new experience, your brain is like, ting, 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 I detect something new, let me find a dendrite, let me connect. It's wanting to connect. And then when it catches it, it makes a synapses. So the synapses happen and your brain lights up. So yes, because our brain is elastic and plastic, it will continue to find new pathways. But if you think about an example of why it's important to have clear pathways, take a walk by the beach. And when you're walking by the beach, you leave footprints, but the sand is dry. And after some time, the waves come, the wind comes, the sandprints are gone. But if you mix water in that sand, what would happen? It would stay. That's what happens to your pathways. When you have more and more experiences, the pathways get permanent. And this is why we do many things on autopilot. How many of you drive to work on autopilot? You're like, how did I get here? Right? It's because that pathway is very well built. I don't need to think. I can be in autopilot. Dangerous, but I do it. Right? So, does that answer your question? Okay, what was the question again?
So on one hand we say that the entire development is done to the age of 26, but at the same time we're saying that we are constantly changing and evolving even after 26.
I get the question now. Okay. So the entire development of the brain in a sense, so the 90% that's getting done by 5 and the 10% that's getting done by 26, what that is saying is all your brain is lit up, like it's all connected. It's not saying it's done making pathways, it's just saying the brain is wired. That's what it's saying. So by 5, your brain is wired 90%. By 26, it's entirely wired. But it could be wired just this much, or it could be wired this much. But it's all wired, it's done wiring. Does that make sense?
Can you explain the difference between elasticity versus wiring?
Okay, so really good question. So the difference between elasticity and wiring, because our brain is elastic, because it stretches, and because it grows with experiences, as it's stretching, the new wiring is happening.
So then that does not hold, like the 90%. It keeps having a new connection and
So the foundation, you have to think of it like a building foundation. So the building foundation is what it is. I put in it what I put in it. However strong I make it is how strong I make it. But once the building is done, I could extend, I could I could add drapes, I could add windows, I could add this. I'm growing and adding to the house. But the foundation is what the foundation is. So if you can have a rich foundation, like if you have a wide, rich, deep foundation, that's what's going to take you further in life. Does that make sense? Okay.
Somebody could have a good foundation but not enough,
Yeah, absolutely.
and somebody could have a weaker foundation but more of this.
Really good point. So you could have a strong foundation, but life experiences could happen. You could have tragedy in life, you could have major stress in life, you could face drastic things growing up. So you had your first 5 years were very solid, but then life happened and you may or may not make it, or you might have to depend on addictive stuff to get you by. You might find coping skills by doing artificial things like drinking or distractions to cope because you don't got it. Or you didn't have a strong foundation, but then somebody came in your life who filled your emotional brain that made you feel safe, that woke up this part of your brain to problem solve, to think creatively, to be inspired, be motivated. Does that make sense? So yes, this is the foundation, this is what's happening, but life experiences continue to impact. Stress continues to impact. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, like SAIL, right? The SEIL. So can any one of them take over the entire thing and of
You
your
mean a
brain?
hijack happened?
Yeah, like can anything occupy the entire brain? Like for example, emotions we talk, right?
Right.
Can it take over the entire brain?
Yes, that's what happens when you have a amygdala hijack. Your brain does get completely emotional brain. You're not making logical sense, you're not thinking through, your brain is an emotional brain. Or when you're really scared, if you're really scared, you're walking down, okay, pretend, close your eyes, okay, let's go there, let's go to Sophia, close your eyes. You're walking down, it's dark, and it's late, and you're alone, especially if you're a lady, you're alone, and you hear footsteps behind you. What's happening to you right now? Your heartbeat is increasing, right? Your palms are getting sweaty. That's your brain in survival state. Your entire brain is flooded with stress hormones. So the stress hormones are the cortisols. So when cortisol is flooding through your body, it floods your entire body. And you're in this fight, flight, freeze state. Your brain doesn't relax. Your brain doesn't know that it's okay. You can't tell your brain, okay, breathe, it's okay. Your brain is scared. On the opposite of that, so the cortisol is the stress hormone, but the cuddly hormone, like I like to call it, is the oxytocin. Oxytocin is the cuddly hormone, and it fills you with kindness and compassion and emotion and love. The easiest way to increase the cuddly hormone is to give a hug. Every time you hug somebody, you're releasing oxytocin in your body, right? Miss Dr. Gunjan? Yes. Tell me if I'm wrong, because you know this is stuff I've heard in research. So I need a doctor to tell me, yes, you're on the right path. Okay. So the brain at work, this is really cool. The brain seeks patterns. Your brain wants to do the same thing it does every day. If I have a morning routine, I want to do my same morning routine every day because my brain needs patterns. Children are no different. Whatever you do to them, that's the only way they know how. That's why they wanted, children need consistency, children need patterns, but it's also because the adults need patterns. How many of you have the same exact routine in the morning and the same exact routine at night? Right? Your brain seeks patterns. The other thing that brain does, oh, I don't know if I can see that, but down there it has mirror neurons. Have you heard of the word mirror neurons? So the mirror neurons is exactly that word, mirror. M-I-R-R-O-R, mirror. Our entire skin, our entire body has neurons on it. And they mirror. So, I smile, you smile. It's because our mirror neurons are reflecting. It's no different than vibrations. You walk into a space and you can sense if the vibrations are good or bad. I better get out of here. Oh, this feels really good. I want to hang out. Oh, this person feels really good. I connect with this person. It's your mirror neurons that are activating.
So, one question. Having the same pattern is a good thing or a bad thing? Do we need to exercise our brain to don't do the same thing every morning or maybe just to make it?
Yeah, so really good. Yeah, really good question. It's neither this or that in terms of good or bad, but if you want to, because you're rewiring your brain.
So does that also change the state of the brain from stage to stage?
From the
Like,
three
because
stages.
if I go to the same route every morning, I'm relaxed and confident. And if I have to challenge my brain and I take a different route,
You go back to
that might
survival
change
state.
my- Yeah, that might change my-
You're back to survival state. Absolutely. But if you break your habits, and you know, she actually tells us about breaking habits all the time. When you break the habits, what you're doing is you're creating plasticity in your brain. And this is probably why she actually says break your habits, because you're creating new pathways. You're not becoming conditioned. And what's really fascinating about knowing about cerebrum and knowing about the brain is how you can blend the two. So it can't just be dry knowledge, you know, because we're not dry people, we're living human beings. And yeah, so forming habits is conditioning. That makes our left side heavy. But yeah, if we want to force our brain to make new pathways, we'll have to create new habits. And the new pathways will come. And children think in pictures. They don't think in words. They think in pictures till the time they're 5. So the simple way to relax your brain, to take it from survival to emotional to executive, is to breathe. It's really simple. So I know we've been sitting for a long time. Let's stand up for this one thing. Let's stand up. Let's stand up. So these are simple ways how we can get oxygen in our brain. So taking a deep breath is the best way to get oxygen in our brain. Ava, come on, let's breathe together. These are things that children can do, and I've been doing this with Ava since she was a few months old. She can take a deep breath. So pick one. Which one looks interesting, and I'll show you how to do that. Or should I show you all of them, because you can do them at home quite nicely. All of them? Okay, so let's do the balloon. Is she coming? Is she doing? Okay. Never mind. Okay, so the balloon is really easy. And the research says you got to get 3 deep breaths in your in your brain. You got to get 3 deep breaths. And so we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose. We're going to hold, and we're going to release through our mouth. No different than when we meditate, right? So let's do it together. So take a deep breath. Raise your balloon. Hold and release. And again, deep breath. Hold, release. Last one. And down again. So that's the balloon. The star is really simple. The star just stands for stop. Take a deep breath. Relax. Smile. So just stay where you are and just smile. Because your brain knows if you're happy. Your brain knows if you're stressed out. So, smiling, let it go. That's the star. And then the drain is really easy. So, the drain is making your body really, really tense. Like, put all your stress right here. Right here, right here, right here. Come here, Eva, do it with me. Do it really, really tight. Can you do it? Really, 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 really tight. And then let it go. Okay, do it with me now. Can you turn around? So you can do it with me. Hold your hands up. Hold your hands up. Okay, hold it really, really tight. Really, 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 really tight. Oh, all the stress is in my hand. All it. And let it go. Now take a deep breath. Hold your hands really, really tight. And release. And the last one is a pretzel. This crosses your midline. Do you know about the midline? The midline is fantastic. This is when your left and right brain cross. So cross your ankles. You can cross your ankles, please. No, cross your feet. Cross your feet. And in front, cross your hands, bring it in, take a deep breath, and release. Now cross the other way. And some of you will find it easier going one way versus the other way. So go this way, it's if you're dominant left brain or right brain. Take a deep breath, and release. And one last time the other way. And deep breath. And release. So these are simple breathing exercises. You can take a seat, it's okay. These are simple breathing exercises that get oxygen in your brain. And just by getting oxygen in your brain, you can go from survival to emotional to executive. And you can walk your way back. So when a child is upset, or when an adult is upset, do you want to go sit down, Eva? Go sit down, Mama. Thank you for coming and helping me. So when a person is emotional and you say, use your words, I can't think of the words because I'm that stressed. So all you have to do is take a deep breath and children will do it with you. So for you guys, When he's upset, all you have to do is put him on your chest and breathe with him, and you will find that he will relax. Because mirror neurons will kick in, and his breathing will stop. Because really what you're doing with breathing is you're slowing it down. That's all you're doing. You're slowing it down for the brain to readjust, for the chemicals to subside, for the cortisol to come down. It's okay, I can handle this. It's not a flight or fright situation. I'll be okay. The brain needs time to process. And these are simple breathing techniques that you can do with children. I mean, this is if you have children. If you don't have children, please do continue taking deep breaths. That's so good for you. So the emotional intelligence, that's, take a minute to read this and tell me what stands out to you in this definition. What stands out?
Acknowledge
Yeah, acknowledging.
people's feelings.
Yeah. Accepting them, acknowledging them. Feelings, right? That's the word, right? The funny thing about feelings is really interesting. Children can learn all feelings without being taught. Children are born to be scared, curious, happy, excited. But with emotional intelligence, it's really interesting. I'm sure you've heard places like Google, Apple, all of these big companies, even Ivy League universities. Now when you send in an application for applying to the university, they're not so bothered about your IQ scores. They're asking for soft skills. Soft skills are emotional skills. Can you get along with people? Can you work in a team? Can you be supportive? Can you be creative? That's not on your IQ list. So what do you think develops those qualities? How would you enhance emotional intelligence in yourself or in children? How would you do it? How would you get those skills? Getting along with people, being a team player, being a creative person, how would you do that? Interaction, yeah. The more practice you have with interaction, that would help. What else? What skills could you do for yourself or for your children to have emotional intelligence skills over here? The heart to be open. Oh, I like that. I like that. If the heart is open, you will definitely have those skills. And do you know the two qualities that connect with the heart? Asim, that's a really good answer. The two qualities that connect with the heart opening is having empathy and compassion. Do you know something? Empathy and compassion cannot be learned. It has to be role modeled. Children will not have empathy and compassion if someone in their life is not empathic to them and not compassionate towards them. Did you know that? You know when you hear these serial killers killing people, I wonder what kind of a childhood did they have? Did they have nobody compassionate in their life? Is that why they could do that? But empathy and compassion has to be role modeled. So I'll give you an example. What does that look like in action? So, for example, you're driving and you're in rush hour traffic and somebody cuts you. What do? Okay, you be honest. What do you do?
Flash them.
Okay, so you do something, right? You're angry, right? Words will come out, hand gestures will come out, something will happen. If you have a child in the back of your car seat, they just saw anger in action. If you were doing empathy in action, how would you handle it? You would probably say, it's okay, they can go ahead, they probably aren't in a rush, it's okay. You will respond differently. You just modeled empathy in action. You're in the playground, you take your kids to the playground, somebody falls down. Your response could be, you're okay, The child is not okay. The child is not okay because in that moment the child is not okay. But you could handle it with compassion and with empathy and you could say, are you okay? Are you hurt? I see you scratched. Do you need help? You've just modeled empathy. These are the two emotions that children will not have unless somebody in their life, as adults too. You will not have empathy and compassion if somebody doesn't model it for you. If at home something happens to you and the person in your house responds is, you're fine, deal with it, versus, I'm here for you, how can I help? So think about that for a minute because empathy and compassion are two feelings and two emotions that are not just inborn. They're not part of your DNA. You have to pick them up in your environment. Isn't that cool? That is scary cool, right? So emotional intelligence, Shimashi's talked highly about this too. She has said to raise children who are more emotionally intelligent versus high IQ. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that important? Why is that important? Why should we have higher EI versus IQ? Because it makes the world a kinder, gentler place, right? And as yogis, it's not our job to make the world a harsher place. It's our job to make it kinder, gentler. What do we do during our meditation? We tell the people who come to us, come and make yourself okay and make your environment okay, right? Right? So,
I have a question.
yes.
So on the previous example, right, when someone cuts you in the traffic, so sometimes you do feel like that's fine, he's not taking away anything from me. That's
Right.
okay. So that kind of a response, what you get is what part of the brain projects that kind of a behavior?
So really good question. So if I act aggressively, or if my aggression is coming out versus compassion, I'm using my emotional brain. I'm reacting. But if I'm using my executive function, which I'm not reacting but responding, I'm responding in a sensible manner. My brain is kicking in with the problem solving. You must be in a rush, I'll let you pass, it's all good. I'm not going in a rush, it's all good. I'm problem solving versus I'm reacting. So when I react, I use this. When I problem solve, I use this.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good questions, good questions. So how do children learn? They learn through play. Their world is the play world. And play is really important, and I wanted to spend a few minutes doing this because right now there are so many gadgets and gadgets and swipe this and turn this and ding-dang this and ding-dang this. That is not good for their brains. No children between birth and 2 should be introduced to phones and iPads and iPhones. And they are concrete brains. You will not make neuron connections with the flat something that does this and does this. You are not helping the brain to make brain connections when you do that. And even in our adult world, we're all attached to some ding-dang, something that gets our attention going all the time. Your brain is exhausted. Your brain is exhausted. Play is the work of children, but it's also important for adults to have play in your life. I mean, life is not that serious. You can be joyful, you can have fun, you know. When you do that, your brain chemicals change. Play is the key. But play for children has to be, Shimashi talks about how it needs to be natural materials, how it needs to be something of value. Don't fill your house with plastic, rubbish. Don't have 1,000 things for your children only because you need to distract their attention. It's okay to be bored. Actually, there's research that says bored children are the most successful in life. Don't fill every minute of every day with things to do. Especially for the summer, you know, the famous thing in education especially, right now everybody's like, which summer camp is your child doing and what special skill is your child doing, blah, blah. And it's so refreshing to hear somebody say, we're doing a whole lot of nothing. We're doing a whole lot of nothing. Because we don't do a whole lot of nothing very often. We jam-pack our days, we jam-pack our lives with things. Things are distracting. So, enough said about that. Through experimentation. For these children at home, I hope you're doing lots of fun experiments with them. Google science experiments for any age that your child is, and you will get a gazillion ideas. Do it. Do it. The other day, Ava came over and we were doing, what had we put in the water, the sink and float, what had we? Eggs. We boiled one egg and we had raw one egg. And we were learning about sink and float. I mean, we're doing these things constantly in the house. You should do it. It's on your fingertips. If you're using Google, get some ideas to play with your kids. That's what you should use Google for. Don't give it to them. Don't do it to them. So I wanted to spend a minute with extended conversations. These are key for language development. Remember, children are born learning to understand very quickly, but for them to express it, they need the language neurons to develop. Extended conversation is back and forth. Extended conversation is a dance. You say, I say, we go back and forth. But if you're not having those with your children, they will not grow that part of their brain. So if they're trying to talk to you as young as us, when he's talking to you, Googling, ooh and I, stay engaged, Google back. And you're good with that. You read to him, you sing to him, and you guys are good with this. But that's when you're having a rich vocabulary. I'll tell you one more thing. If you want your children to be successful, you have to have rich vocabulary. If they can have rich vocabulary when they're little, they will take off in life when they're older. The best way to get rich vocabulary is reading, reading, reading. Reading books, reading nursery rhymes, reading about deities, reading about, doesn't matter. Just read to them, but you have to enjoy it too. If you hated reading as a child, I hated reading as a child. I didn't enjoy it. But now, but now, I see it through Ava's eyes. It's one-on-one time. She has you alone. And it's feeding that emotional brain. So it's more than that. So, I'll talk with you. How much time do I have? What's going on? Is it taking too long? What time is it? Is it too late? Are we okay? We're okay? Okay. We're okay? Okay. I'll keep going. So, fixed mindset and growth mindset. Who's heard about this? What have you heard about it?
We do it in school for like goals and stuff.
Okay. So, what do you know about fixed mindset and growth mindset?
Like, fix what you want to be, and then you grow from that.
Yeah, very good explanation. Yeah, exactly that. So, fixed mindset makes you feel like, I can't do this, I'm not going to be successful at this, I'm good at this, I'm bad at this. Are we okay? You did that. Okay, so the fixed mindset makes you feel like, I'm successful at this, I'm good at this, I'm not going to try this because I might fail at this. The risk of failure stops you from exploring. I don't understand accounting and my brain doesn't get it. But that's a fixed mindset. So the growth mindset, the opposite of that is, it's a challenge. I may fail, but I may learn, I may figure it out, or I may not. I'm okay, I'll try it. So people who take on new challenges have a growth mindset. The people who are scared of taking risks have fixed mindset. Neither are good or bad, it's just it is what it is. How many of you relate to the growth mindset? Bring on a challenge and I'm excited and I'm going to do it. Okay? Who else? Okay? Pragya definitely has a growth mindset. And I've said this to her many, many times because she had to move there and learn a new language. That is not easy. She had to teach in a different school system. That is not easy. And many people would be like, I don't think I can do this. This is too scary. But because you have a growth mindset, you took it as a challenge and you went for it. All of you who left India and came here and are successful, you have growth mindsets. Because you were excited and you were open and you were willing to take a risk. Who has a fixed mindset? Who's scared of taking risks? Oh, sorry.
Life experiences make you change the mindset from one to the other.
Yes, life experiences do, but also how the language that is in our environment. So let me explain more. So when we use language in our environment, for example, Anusha, you're a genius at basketball. You just succeed at it. You're so brilliant. You're so good. And I do this to Anusha all the time. She's going to feel like, I know basketball. I'm so good at this. I'm so cool. She may not want to try volleyball because she may not shine at it as much. Because I've just now forced it in her head that I shine in this. I don't want to take a risk over here, so I better not do this. How does it work with children? Like, they're good at puzzles. So I say, oh, you're so good at puzzles. You're a genius. Blah, blah, blah. He was already developing a fixed mindset because I'm putting these words in his environment. But to grow a growth mindset, the words change. So with a growth mindset, you don't focus on the effort. What you say is, you didn't give up. You kept trying. You took a risk. You figured it out. Like, when they're learning to tie their shoelaces. I remember this with Ava very clearly, this example. When she was trying to put her shoes on, no laces, we don't do laces yet. It was Velcro, right, Chetan? It was Velcro, and she was trying to get help. And she said, and back in those days, she used to say, help you, help you. She didn't say help me, she said help you. Because Chetan did a very good job saying, do you want me to help you? Do you want me to help? Do you want me to pick you? So her language was help you, help you. She was putting on her shoes and she was like, help me, help me. I said, no, you could figure it out. Don't give up. You could try. But I kept coaching her. Put your foot in, push it in, pull this. She did it. And do you know what she did? The minute she did it, she put her hands up, the victory pose. I did it, because that was pure accomplishment that she did on her own. That's growth mindset in action. So yes, to your point, it happens with life experiences, but it also happens with what language we're hearing. So if you have supportive family, which clearly you do, if you didn't have Suresh supporting you at home for everything, you wouldn't be able to go get a new job and be successful because you didn't get the support at home. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? So life experiences do it, but also people around you, whether they're supporting you or not, with their language, believing in you or not.
What I mean is, like, sometimes people go into depression and it could be like really, moving down from a growth mindset to fixed mindset that, I can't do this anymore. Do those kind of things happen?
Yeah. But again, I think that's the brain happening, right? So the brain is going into survival, the brain is going into emotional, and I have to bring the brain back into the executive. So whatever that means. Am I going to give you security? Am I going to give you reassurance? Am I going to give you support? How am I going to bring you back from survival, emotional to executive? So growth mindset and fixed mindset is just the way you look at life, the way you respond to life, the way you take on challenges and you don't. But our language is powerful.
So one more question.
You and you, yeah.
So if a child does good thing and we tell them, yeah, you did a good thing, very good. So are we planting a seed of a fixed mindset, or should we tell them differently?
Really good question, Kapil. So yes, you are. So when we give empty praise meaning good job, well done, those are empty praises. They don't actually feed the brain. What they do is feed the ego. So they don't actually feed the brain. The flip side of that is, if they show you a drawing, if they've done a drawing, and they want you to say, do you like it? What do you think about it? The question that you have to ask them is, what do you think about it? Or you can notice, I noticed that you use several colors. You can do an observation without making a judgment. So when we do a judgment, we're adding to the fixed mindset. But when we do an observation, noticing their effort, you stay really long with that. Like if they're in middle school, high school, and they're working on homework, and you're like, I see that you worked really hard on this. Do you feel proud of it? Do you feel a sense of accomplishment? You're putting it back on them to make a judgment call. So yeah, praise does lead to fixed mindset.
Okay. Sometimes we get this thought, right? Like, okay, whatever I'm doing is not my call. For example, if you're into a profession, you think it's not my call. It's not my thing, right? So is that a part of the fixed mindset?
It could be. It could be because you've decided, or it could be a growth mindset that wants a new adventure or knows your potential and knows that I'm capable of so much more and I'm not living to my potential. It's hard to know just precisely on just that sentence whether it's which mindset. But if it prevents you from taking risk, then it's a fixed mindset. But if it encourages you to take the risk and say, this is not my calling, but something else is, and I'm going to take a challenge and I'm going to explore it, that's your growth mindset in action. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What is the role of discipline?
Oh, really good question. So, Srimatri talks greatly about this. When you discipline, you're trying to make them comply. And sometimes discipline comes from authority or it comes from intimidation. So either I'm using my voice to control you or I'm using my threat to control you. Those are not going to give you lifelong successes because they're temporary. I'm going to be scared of you. I'm going to be disciplined because that's what you expect, but I'm not using my brain to problem solve and I'm not understanding the why. I don't have a buy-in. But when I have a buy-in, I don't need to be disciplined. I can be guided. So you want your children to a place where you can help them by guiding them versus scaring them and creating a center heart or disciplining them. Don't get me wrong, discipline has a place, but it has to be private. And Shivashi always said, treat your children with respect, don't embarrass them in public. If they do something wrong, do it privately. She even said, give a one papaj on the left solution to fix it if they need it. But you as a parent have to make a judgment call. Is it me? Is it my ego that is needing right now compliance? Or is it really helping this child to succeed? Which is not easy to do if I'm in my emotional brain, remember. So if I'm in my emotional brain and you're not listening to me, I'm going to, because I'm the grown up and I can do that to you, I can download on you, and you're left feeling this and scared, and and you will comply because you scared me into compliance. But I didn't give you the life skills to succeed. But if I could be balanced, which doesn't always happen, but if I could be not in my emotional brain, I could respond to you and not react to you. Does that make sense?
So that is one idea of discipline. Somebody or an adult.
Are you talking about yogi discipline?
Yes.
Self-control.
Self-control.
Ah.
Sanskar.
Yes, of course. Yes. Well, I mean, again, don't go too right-sided with it.
Right.
Don't go too left-sided with it. Yeah, totally on the wrong path. Discipline has so many meanings. Does that answer? Okay. Was there another? Okay, I think I got it all. So does fixed mindset and growth mindset make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So advice given by Shimashi. I have a handout that I'm happy if you want to take it, photograph and film it if you want to. I didn't make copies because I figured you didn't need to, but I wanted to read a few things in here that are really, really meaningful. One of them is, it is the duty of every mother to see that her children grow up to be great people, greater than you. They have to look after the whole world. If you spend time with your children, see that you mold them, you nourish them with love, and tell them that they should give love to others, that they should behave in such a manner that everyone should see their greatness. We owe this to our children. They are given to us for a reason. We have to raise them big, higher than us. Shimashi was really very, treat them with love, spoil them with love, not with things. She said that often. She's like, if you deprive a child of love, they will really want to please you because they want your love. They don't want your things, they want your time. Spend time with them. Whatever gives you joy, spend time with them. The foundations of a child's personality are laid in early childhood. The importance of EQ versus IQ. Suggest words for your children to use to express themselves. This is really important when you start labeling emotions. Labeling emotions starts as early as a year, two, very early. Tell me what you're feeling. If a child is crying, instead of just saying, you're fine, stop crying, get it together. Don't do that. What are you feeling right now? Are you scared? Are you upset? Are you angry? Label the emotion. Because then children will grow up with higher IQ, EQs, EIs, emotional intelligence, because they had learned how to express themselves. And remember that definition of emotional intelligence, it was all about understanding feelings, acknowledging feelings, and responding to feelings. So instill in them, give responsibilities to your children. They're never too young to have responsibilities. Even as little as that, it's your responsibility to help pick up your toys. It's your responsibility to clean up after yourself. It's your responsibility to put the dishes away. Whatever age they are, they should be helping in the house. And this whole, sometimes the American idea is to pay your children for doing chores. Don't ever do that because they're part of a family. You don't get paid when you do the dishes in your own house. That's part of your contribution to the family. When you raise them with responsibilities and you raise them with expectations that everybody contributes, you're a family. You take care of each other. Encourage sharing, take care of pets, take care of children, nurture the child's spiritual growth without the religion. I wanted to talk a minute about this because it's really important. Sahaja was Shimashi never set it up as an Indian thing. Sahaja was set up as a blend of all the best in all the religions and all the cultures. And sometimes we tend to do things because it's our comfortable pathway. That's all I know. That's my conditioning. So because I've always done pujas this way, or because I've always done it this way, I do it like this. But Shimaji was very, very careful of never doing the same thing again and again. All the pujas would get changed. All the things would get changed. She would keep it fresh. There were no conditionings. Sahaja was never a religion. It was never all these rituals. Like you have to offer this and cover this and change this and shift this. This didn't happen. You did it from your heart. What was more important was, is it coming from your heart and where's your attention? All this elaborate, is your heart in it? If you can do all this elaborate, and your heart's not in it, the vibrations won't be there. But you could do simple and your heart will be in it and you'll be flooded with vibrations. So just keep that in mind, that we don't get very stuck with ritualistic things, because Sajoga is beyond Indian culture, beyond Indian religion. It's what's good for our spirit. So anything that you do, whether you lead a meditation or whether you offer a puja, if it's with your entire heart, you will see the benefit. So it's very important that we raise children like that. Don't have rituals in your house. More important with love and compassion. So feel free to make copies of this if you'd like to. This is really cool. I like this, but I don't have my eyes on. Maybe you could read some. How not to raise a delinquent child. Yeah? Read a few. Don't read all. Just read a few. Whatever catches your attention.
Begin at infancy to give the child everything he wants. In this way, he will grow up to believe the world owes him a living.
So this is to raise a delinquent child, remember.
When he picks up bad words, laugh at him. This will make him think he's cute.
So this is really important. When children say silly things and you laugh at them, instead of correcting them, instead of saying that's not respectful, you don't speak to people like that. Don't laugh at them because so everything that Monica is saying, in other words, don't do it. Go on, read a few more.
Never give him any spiritual training. Wait until he is 21 and then let him decide for himself.
Yeah, so with anything, right? It starts in infancy. You're practicing bowing down at home to Shrimati, showing respect to Shrimati. It starts early, right? So if you just say, I'm going to wait till you decide when you're 21, you can decide if Sajoga is for you or not. I mean, do you want to read more or you want to make a photocopy of it? Copy is fine? Yeah, you can take a picture and you can post it. That is all coming from Shrimati. Really encouraging children with sharing and loving and giving to others. I think this quality of giving to others versus always me give to me. What can I give to you? What can I give to you? What can I do for you? Okay, so this is a cool thing. Do you see the ant and do you see the elephant? So, the ant, really these are very high numbers. I told you I'm not good with numbers, right? So the elephant represents the 4 billion and the ant represents the 2,000. In your brain, this is what happens. If you're not given the freedom to express yourself, be creative, take ownership, and you're only voluntold. That somebody in your house tells you, do this, put this, pick this, change this, come here, come blah, blah, blah. All you're doing is wakening up the ant-sized neurons versus the elephant-sized neurons. If you want elephant-sized neurons, give them freedom, give them expression of creativity, let them express their emotions, value them as people. Don't talk down to children, don't undermine them, but don't undermine each other as well, because that's what you're doing to somebody's brain. When you're not creative, excited, motivated, inspired brain, only 2,000 of your neurons are acting. I can't remember the numbers, but I can remember the elephant and the ant. I want the elephant brain because I want my entire brain to be engaged. I don't want just a part of my brain to be engaged. Right? That makes sense? Well, any questions? I wanted to read a bit about this book if it's not too late. Is it too late? Oh my goodness, you guys are good at sitting. Gosh, even the children are sitting. This is amazing. I wanted to read this last page of the book because your brain is amazing. The brain that makes you you really is an amazing organ. It controls what you think, do and feel and remember. Your brain is growing fast during the first 10 years of your life, and now we know that you can help it grow. When you try hard to learn something new, connections grow from neurons and attach to other neurons. Then your brain can send messages faster, making part of your brain bigger and stronger. Making mistakes really helps you learn because your brain keeps trying new things and stretching until you figure out the answer to your problem. You are shaping more elastic brain when you learn new things that build on what you already know. Ta-da! There's your brain. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. I hope it was valuable. Thank you for being so patient and sitting.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Maybe we can do advanced course.
Advanced course. Sure, I mean, this is what I do in my day job. I talk about the brain all the time. And this is the tip of an iceberg. We didn't even go in all kinds of areas. This is the tip of the iceberg. So thank you for being patient and listening.